The Xiaomi Mi 9 and the X27 from Vivo. Which one should you go for? There's definitely some differences between these phones. The X27, you just see that pop-up camera, and as we know, Xiaomi always deliver incredible value for money. That pop-up camera has definitely been improved from last year's models. It feels more robust, it feels a more reliable part of the body, and it is definitely a lot quicker on the way up than what we had last year. Although it's a great feature, some may ask whether it is entirely necessary to have it, and other people may think it's just an awesome design feature, giving you that fully bezel-less display at the top. X27 is definitely heavier. Now I'm sure some of that comes from the mechanism for the pop-up camera, but also it has a bigger battery. In any case, it is thicker and heavier than the Xiaomi Mi 9. This thing is light and also very thin. It's a great design on the Xiaomi Mi 9. But in terms of the screen on both of these phones, they're actually exactly the same. They both carry a 6.4-inch screen. They're both AMOLED screens. Now obviously the main advantage of the X27 is that there are no notches, no bumps or anything on that screen. Having said that, this is the top of the screen in the Xiaomi. It is not going to be a big issue for most people. The notch looks good in any case. I like the design, and it is really small up there. If you're a purist, you'll go with the X27. If you really don't mind that small little notch, then the whole selling point of the X27 over a lot of other phones may just pass you by. On the X27, you get a 4,000 mAh battery. On the Xiaomi Mi 9, that's 3,300 mAh. Now, I've used this phone a lot and I've tested it a lot, and the battery life on this phone I think is really great. Some people have said maybe 3,300 is a little bit on the low side, but in the real world, using this phone, I haven't seen any battery issues whatsoever. Now the 4,000 mAh battery on the X27, that's a big battery. 4,000 is really pushing the limits as to what most manufacturers put in their phones. Now they both have USB-C type connectors, which pleases me because Vivo have put micro USB connectors on a lot of their devices, which I really don't like. I'm glad to see that both of these have USB-C. They both have fast charging as well, although the Xiaomi edges out the Vivo here. It's 27 watt fast charging, and you also get wireless charging on the Mi 9. The X27, you still have to plug it into the wall. Somewhere where they're exactly the same, in my opinion, is the underscreen fingerprint sensor. They both carry the underscreen fingerprint sensor. It is just such a great feature, in my opinion. And the Mi 9's is so quick, but I can also say that of the Vivo X27. Moving on to the cameras on both of these phones, again, there are some big differences between them. Now obviously the main selling point of this Vivo X27 is that pop-up camera. It's probably going to divide opinion. Having used that pop-up camera on the X27, it is very quick to pop up. As soon as you press the camera app, as long as it's in selfie mode, it will pop up straight away. It's so quick that you almost don't even pause to take the photo. You can open the app, and as soon as the app is open and ready to take the photo, the camera is already popped up and ready to go. Also on that pop-up camera, there's a few things you can do with it. To the sides of the camera, there are some lights, some LED lights that you can change the color of in the settings. There are also some sounds that you can play when the camera pops up and down. Again, you can change those in the settings. Now that camera is a 16 megapixel sensor. There was a lot of beauty modes on there as standard. Obviously you can turn those off. It does the job very well. Now the front camera on the Xiaomi, that's a 20 megapixel shooter. Now obviously that front camera on the Xiaomi just lives in the front notch. Apart from the very cool motorized mechanism that you get in the X27, both of these cameras are around about the same. Moving on to the back camera on both of these, again there are some differences. On the Xiaomi Mi 9, you get a triple camera there. So you get a main 48 megapixel sensor, you get an ultra wide, and you also get a telephoto. I have to say that at the price point, 3,000 RMB for the Xiaomi Mi 9, having a triple camera on there is absolutely incredible. In terms of video on the Xiaomi, you get 4K video, you also get slow-mo, and an ultra slow-mo mode where you can take a burst of extremely slow-mo, about 960 frames a second. The Vivo X27 has 3 units at the back there as well. It has a main camera, which is 48 megapixels. The ultra wide is 13 megapixels. And the third camera sensor back there is actually a depth sensor. It's not an imaging unit. There is no telephoto lens on the Vivo X27. You can still zoom in, it goes up to 10 times digital zoom. The photos actually are pretty comparable with the Mi 9. Now, which one you prefer, maybe down to just which colors you prefer, because maybe the colors that you get out of both imaging units will be slightly different. I can't really say one is better than the other, although the Xiaomi, you do actually get a third imaging unit there, whereas the X27 just has 2. The X27 does 4K just like the Mi 9, but you don't get the slow-mo options in the X27 like you do in the Xiaomi. The Xiaomi Mi 9 uses a Snapdragon 855, which is a huge feature of this phone. This uses the same processor as you get in the very latest Samsung Galaxy S10 range for 3000 RMB. This processor is so powerful, it's an absolute beast. Now the Vivo X27 uses a Snapdragon 710 processor. Now this processor is supposed to focus more on battery life and video and images. So even though it's not part of the 800 range, the 855 for example, you still get that 4K video recording. It's one of the latest chips from Snapdragon, but obviously you'll have to say that an 855 is just going to give you more power than any 700 series chip. How about the price? So the Vivo X27 just comes in an 8GB variant. To make it a fair playing field, let's take the 8GB version of the Xiaomi. That's 3,299 RMB, whereas the Vivo X27 is 3,500 RMB. You'd have to say that the Xiaomi has a more advanced chip using the latest Snapdragon 855. It also has an extra imaging unit at the back there, and obviously the main selling point of the X27 is without a doubt the full bezel-less screen and that pop-up camera.